In the world of E3, there is literally nothing else to talk about other than E3. So I've made it my personal journey to go through and find some tidbits that aren't quite the norm and a little bit interesting. Now, one of them that caught my eye was this wonderful, beautiful little game called Wizard with a Gun, which when you think about it goes against the usual archetype because it's usually wizard with a staff or wizard with a wand or wizard with something other than a gun. But the trailer was absolutely awesome. There's a little bit of gameplay footage, so I'm going to dig through and go through all the details and give you as much knowledge as I can with the limited info we have at the moment. So Galvanic Games are the guys who made this. They've made some other titles in the past. You may remember Rapture Rejects. They also did Gargamoth, and they did Some Distant Memory as well. So aside Rapture Rejects, I don't think any of these have actually ever taken off. They've always been kind of low burners in terms of popularity. They're never hated by the community apart from Rapture Rejects, which was by all accounts a bit of a dodo fest. But yeah, aside that, I mean, they're very, very pretty. They kind of have the same colour scheme of cyanide and happiness throughout what they've created. So it wasn't actually much surprise when they did Rapture Rejects. But yeah, they're just kind of forgettable in titles, let's say. But that's not to say that this is going to happen with this one. This one does look really fun. So the basic premise is it's an online co-op shooter set in a survival universe, but instead of kind of your usual cowboy western-esque style, you've got a magical wilderness that you've got to deal with. So it only goes up to 4-player co-op, so it's not as big as Don't Starve, for example, but I think the kind of feel and play of it is meant to be that similar sort of vein, because you've got to design your weapons, you build bullets, and then you have furnishings for some sort of tower home, which is your kind of center base where everything kind of stems from. So I'm going to break it down into the different elements that I've found out so far. So if we start off at the top from weapons, so they've said that there is an arsenal of weapons. So that kind of sounds cool in terms of they've actually got a lot of them. The trailer doesn't showcase too many, but the Steam page does read that there is a fair amount of customization options to them. So you can alter the shot, the blast radius, the bullet trail, and the status of the creature, which I don't know quite what that means, but sounds cool. As you would expect with any kind of survival-esque game, there's also armor that you can build and in true wizard fashion. So you customize your robes. You also have different hats. In the trailer, you got to see different. You saw some wizardy ones. You saw some cowboys, bits and pieces, and they add different functionality depending on what they are. So kind of your bog standard survival ARPG elements, but I think a necessary one to make these kind of games fun. Now, I'm going to use Don't Starve as an example here, but yeah, similar sort of fashion. So you start off in a randomly generated biome, and there's different types ones. So you've got desert, swamps, there's the tundra, and there's also the prairies at the moment. And from what I'm reading and I've seen so far, apparently you go into your tower, you reset the world around you, and then the biome generates again and you go out into a different world. And I guess that's the replayability element. You keep, resetting, you get different biomes, you get different loot, you get different animals. Maybe they progressively get harder or something, and that's how you kind of get to the late game stage of the survival elements. And outside of that, we just have your bog standard details. So yeah, it's a survival game. You can survive on your own. You can play with 4 other people. I'm not sure how persistence works or how death works, etc. It is all centered around your tower that you have, and there you can build resources, and you've got magic, and you can combine magics to have different effects and stuff. And yeah, very out the box standard stuff, but really cool. I think the theme to it really kind of puts the weight behind it, because I don't think there are any wizardy top-down Don't Starve survival games at the moment that I can think of. I do just want to add a little bit about the trailer, and this is mainly why I'm doing a video on it. It was really, really well done. I mean, if I was to watch this as a show, I would be well and truly satisfied. The art was really, really clean. It was well presented. They had great thematics in the background. They really kind of gave you a taste of what it would feel like. And I think this is really important. I do a lot of trailer reviews, and so many games really sell them short. You've got to start at the entry level, and they did this really, really well. So I hope you get a chance to watch it in its fullness, check out the music. It's really, really enjoyable, and I hope you enjoyed this video, because I'll have more details when I know more, but it's certainly one to watch out for. It is on the Steam page for you to have a look at, but everything is in to be confirmed right now, and for the majority of the details it's not going to be released till 2022, so it is a very, very early doors look, but a well worth one, something to put on the back burner to get a little bit excited about for next year. But that's all I've got for now. Have a good one. I'll be back with more news soon, and take care of yourselves.